welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is EB, and today we're going to be making the Steve fish. I don't know how to say it in French. I apologize. I don't want to mess it up. So today we'll be needing stuffing, a tapestry needle, at least one stitch marker, scissors, a hook. I'm using a 4mm, and yarn, obviously. Any color you like, but I'm using orange because he is a goldfish, I believe. And this is a weight 4 yarn as well. We'll also put the translations on screen for the pattern and the terms of use, and anything else I may have forgotten will be on the screen. Now, we'll be starting with the tail, and I've already done my magic ring of 6. That's what we'll be starting with. We're starting with the tail, and the body will be 2 different pieces. Oh, this is my notes over here. So after we have our ring of 6, we will be doing, for our second row, a single crochet and an increase 3 times to get to 9 stitches. And don't forget to put your stitch markers back in. So I lose my place very easily. All right, these colors is like Darwin from Gumball. So row 3, we'll be doing 2 single crochets and an increase 3 times all the way around to end up with 12 stitches. So 1, 2, put my stitch marker back in, an increase, and then we'll complete the whole 2 single crochets circuit all the way around. Our 4th row will be 3 single crochets and then an increase. So we're doing 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Let's hope it was that one. 3, and then an increase all the way around for this row. Our 5th round will be 2 single crochets, an increase, 2 more single crochets, and then we'll be repeating these 5 stitches. So the next 2 will be 2 more single crochets and then an increase for the whole row. And then we should end up with 15 stitches total. All right. For our next row, we'll be doing 5 single crochets and then an increase. 3 times, and that will end us with 21 stitches. And then we'll do our final row. All right, so now that we're here, we're going to take our stitch marker out. We're going to line up our stitches as best we can. I'm going to chain 1. Going to have where we're working right at the edge here. And we're going to go into our first stitch and the stitch right next to our working stitch. Oh. And we're going to single crochet. And so we're going to do that all the way across, just lining up single crochets and single crocheting through both of them. We are not stuffing the tail or anything like that. All right, this is how we're looking. I'm just going to shape it a little bit, make sure that the magic ring is nice and centered. Push the little arch down and push the ends out so it's flatter. All right. And then we get something like this. This is our nice little fish tail. Just going to cut, fasten off, and then we'll just weave this end in simply shrimply. Now we will be starting on the body. So we're going to be doing a magic ring of 6 this time. You just give me a second. All right, so here we go. And then after our magic ring of 6, we'll be doing just our second row is just increases all around so that we end up with 12 stitches. So I'll meet you back when we get there. So our third row will be an increase and a single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, all the way around. So 6 times, increase, single crochet 6 times, and we'll be having 18 stitches. Our fourth row will be a single crochet, increase, single crochet row. We'll do that sequence 6 times and end up with 24 stitches. Now that we have our 24 stitches, we're going to do 5 rows of single crochet all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of single crochet all around. And then I'll meet you when we get back to that row. 10th row, we'll do 3 single crochets. Put my stitch marker back. We're going to do a decrease. And then 3 more single crochets. So this will be our sequence for this row. So we're just gonna have 3 decreases in this row. So our next stitches will be single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, a decrease, and then 3 single crochets. We'll just do that one more time. So now for this row, we're going to do 5 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, stitch marker. 3, 4, 5, decrease. And 5 more single crochets, a decrease, 5 more single crochets, a decrease, and that'll be the end of the row. For our next round, we'll be doing 3 single crochets, a decrease, and 3 more single crochets. 3 times all the way around. We should end up with 15 stitches. 1, 2, 3. A decrease. Three more. And then we'll do 3, decrease 3. In this row, we're doing 2 single crochets and decrease, and then 2 single crochets 3 times all the way around, and we'll get to 15 stitches. For our next row, we'll do 3 single crochets and a decrease, 3 more single crochets, decrease, single, 3 more single, 3 single. Embarrassing. To stuff this piece, putting more of it in the middle so his body really fleshes out. Mr. Steve here. Oh. We have something like this. And now our row will be a single crochet, a decrease, a single crochet. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet. That's the whole row. And that will be our last row, and then we're going to start putting them together. We end up with this. And I know you might want to like round him out because you know, but that's just gonna make him look like a balloon. So you're gonna turn him, smoosh him down so he looks like this, and then he'll have like a more, you know, I don't know the word, but you know, a more fish-like body. And the tail, this is the tail. Look at it, it's perfect, isn't it? And then we're gonna sew it on. Body, well, we're gonna cut the tail and fasten off. And we're gonna do an invisible fasten off with our needle. Make sure that everything's round. And this is how you do an invisible fasten off. You just have your stitch. You have your next stitch here. You go underneath, pull the yarn through, and then back into our original stitch. And then you pull it not super tight, just like this. Now it's more level across instead of having like a dramatic down. So now we can sew them together. And what we're gonna do for that is we're gonna take the tail for this piece. You can just shove it into here, or you can shove it into the body piece. Either way, but you gotta get rid of this tail. You can just cut it off if you want as well. Using another needle just to keep it more or less in place while I get this together. And then I'm just going to sew into this row here. Oops. Sew into it, and we're gonna go over to this stitch and come out the front, pull it in, go into the next stitch, come down, go into the next stitch there, go down. At this point I could probably move my other needle here, turn, go into my next stitch, go down into this stitch, pull through, and we're going to do that all the way around. He's all sewed up. I'm just going to weave in this end and make sure it stays in our piece. You can even see me, my goodness. And you can just cut it off, but I just like stuffing the ends inside. So now we'll make the arm. Very simple. We're just going to make a chain of 10. And a chain 2. Then in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a slip stitch. Whoops. Then we're going to chain 2 more. And then in this second stitch, we'll do another slip stitch. And a chain of 2 more. And repeat, slip stitch in the second stitch, and then we'll go back to our stitch from the beginning, not this one. This one's already taken up. As you can see, it's all blown out. This one, and we're going to make slip stitches all the way down the arm. It should look something like this. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit just so they're a little rounder, not so large and in charge. Okay, something like that. That looks good. And then we're done. After we go into our last chain, just going to fasten off. Then I'm going to just tie a knot here at the top. Make sure it doesn't come out. That's our hand done. Make sure you make 2 of them. And we're gonna move on to the legs. All right, for the legs, we will do a chain of 13. And then in the second chain from the hook, we will do a single crochet, and then the next stitch we'll do another single crochet, and then for the rest of the stitches we're doing slip stitches. For the rest of the chains we'll be doing slip stitches. Slip, stitch, slip, stitch. And then we'll do the same thing as we did for the arms. Fasten off, tie a knot at the top, and we'll just stretch out the feet a little bit, really make a little crease for the single crochets, something like this, and make 2. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the eye, and we'll start with 5 chains. We'll then do single crochets all the way down the row. So we'll have 4 single crochets. Some person that comes in and crochets for me. That's not true. Anyway, so then you're gonna turn your work, and you will do an increase. So there'll be 3 single crochets in this one stitch. A single crochet over on the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and a single crochet in this last stitch. And we're going to leave it open because we're actually going to change our color to white. Just hold this, put this on, loop it through. And then we're going to go all the way around with the white. And just make single crochets. You can also cut off this extra because we will not be needing this. So single crochets all around. And then our last one, we're just going to do a single crochet into our first white stitch. And then we'll leave a long tail for sewing. And then we'll start sewing right now. We're going to sew our eyeball in between rows 4 and 7. We're just going to make sure it's like about this much away from the top of the head, wherever you want the top to be, and the bottom. And I will show you how I sew them together. I stuck 1 needle in the eye just to keep it in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, making sure I'm in the right spot. Great. Okay, then I'm gonna start at the bottom. So we'll start in a stitch where it lands, where our eyeball lands. I'll start here and I'll go in the direction that I want to go. And then we'll go underneath the stitches, the entire stitch, and the next stitch, going up and down. And then we'll find where we land, about right here. And we'll go out towards where we want our next stitch to go. And that's what we're doing all the way around. For this one, I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to go into this one. At this point, you could probably take out your other needle because it's firmly in place. And just keep crocheting all the way around, making sure that your piece is in the right spot. And when you're done, it should look like this. And now we're just going to take the rest of the yarn and just stuff it into the body because it's no longer needed. And then we can just do the mouth really quickly since we're already here with our needle and stuffing things in. Jolly good time. Sorry. Here's some of our black yarn that's threaded. I'm going to go from underneath him and aim to the spot we want to be in. Just gonna be about right here, in line with the eyeballs. I'm gonna go into the nose and aim down here, about 2 stitches in between from our last hole. Go back up into the nose and aim back down from the spot, back down to the spot that we came in through. Make sure not to pull it too tight. And that's his little face. Cut this excess yarn here. I'm going to tie these two. Double knot just to be safe. And I'm just gonna poke it into the body. Body of our Steve is finished, and we just have to sew on our arms and legs and we're done. Great time, great time. For the arms, this is what it looks like finished. Easy to cute. Okay, so for the arms, we're going to be sewing them in between rows 7 and 8. And we're going to use both of our strings here. So we're going to lace up one string, well, thread one piece. Be sewing below the eyeball. One row out from the eyeball here, below the eyeball. All right, so I put one needle in place just so I know where I'm sewing below. This is where I'm sewing. I'm just going to go over to the next one. Okay. Then I'll take the right one. This one is too small, perhaps. Looks a little small. But we're just going to go into the one that we just came out of with our other piece. And thread it through. We're going to make sure that they are tight together. Orientate the arm so that it's properly on there. Make sure it's on the right row. Double check it. Looks good. And then we'll take one piece of yarn. Like weave it through the arm a little bit. Go back into the first piece. And then we're just going to come out of the head with the yarn. And do the same to, remove that now, yeah. Do the same to the other piece of yarn here. Just weave it a little through the arm. Just like whoop. Just to secure it in place. You want to do it at like the base. You're not really like sewing the arm. You're just securing the yarn. Back into the other one, and then into the same hole at the top. Make sure our arm is nice and functional, movable. Good, good, good. It's not coming out of there. And what we're going to do with our pieces up here is we're just going to make a double knot and stuff it into the piece. You can pose his arms. Check this out. Rubbing my head. Rubbing my head. With my hug, yeah. All right. And now we have one leg on, and this is how we get the leg on. We're gonna be, it's on the same row as the arms. For the legs, we're going to put them in line with the mouth. So this one's right here. This one will be over here, and we're just doing the same thing, going over, sticking one in, going to the other piece of yarn, sticking that piece in, weaving it in a little bit, going up to the head, and then I've got myself enough. Sticking the legs in like this, the same as we did for the arms, just for the sides, lining it up with the mouth, just going back, weaving it in a little bit to make sure that it stays secure. And then for this one, I'll actually just go to the bottom instead of the top. So I'll just bring it down here. Here, and then just doing a double knot like usual, stuffing it in, and then our little fish boy is done. We have finished Steve. Poisson Steve? Sorry, I can't speak French. Oh, Poisson Steve. He is around you. That is the end. I hope you enjoyed making him. I hope you love him. He comes out great. Leave me a comment. Let me tell me what you think. I think it came out pretty well. But if you make this yourself, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Send me a picture. I want to see it. Bye. Peace.